nap 4 hours ago.
Hey, Facebook.
Hey
Happy
y'all.
Friday, happy Friday, happy Independence Day if you celebrate that, happy Hot Dog Day if you celebrate that, happy Spades Day if you celebrate that, happy Friday.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to the late night
Hey,
happy hour with Carrie Irene, me, and
Dr.
Dr.
Sue
Sue, where what comes up
comes out.
comes out. That's how we do it. We hope everybody had a good day. Hope everybody had a safe day. Don't light yourself on fire with no firecrackers out there now. I remember one time back in the day, we had a firework at my mama's house, and the neighbors across the street, we knew them very well, and they were out of town. Well, they may not have been out of town, but we know they weren't home. But I think they were out of town, and we were shooting firecrackers. It wasn't even dark yet. It wasn't even this late at night yet. It was daylight, and we were grilling out, having a good old time. And I shot some firecrackers in their backyard. And it went over their house. I didn't really think too much of it. And next thing you know, we start seeing smoke.
Oh my
Ah!
God.
We
Oh,
started seeing smoke, and I ran over there. I'm like, oh my God, the backyard. Like it was like the brush. Like, because their house was against woods. Like, the back of our house was woods, the back of their house was woods. Like, it's just, it's a country. Man, and they didn't have a water hose. So we are literally filling buckets at our house in the hose, and then we'll run it to the next person, then the next person run it to the next person, so it was just constant, switching. Like we had a smooth operation going, you know what I mean? We got that fire out. Cause baby, who got time to pay for somebody's burnt down house? Absolutely not. And I had just bought me some brand new shoes for the 4th of July, and I had to stomp the fire, so I completely ruined my shoes, which I feel like,
uh-huh.
some people say they don't like instant karma. I do. Let's get it over with. Let's get it over with. How you doing today?
I'm good. My neighbors are already doing the fireworks, and I am
Yeah.
concerned. I like that people want to celebrate, but I always am concerned that something that you despise can happen, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's not that the person intends for it to happen, but you
Oh
don't know what's
yeah.
going to happen once you send it off and the wind does what it does, or the
But not to mention the creator of the fireworks, they're unpredictable anyway. So you can have it shoot right there, and all of a sudden it goes, you know. But yeah, I trust your protection. I trust you're protected.
oops.
Man, but you right though. It happens. It does happen for sure. So did you partake in any festivities today?
Girl, no. No, I have not been diligent about working out or going to walk or anything. So I
Uh huh.
got up and went for a walk, and I'm really excited that I walked 5 miles today for the first
Oh
time
wow.
in months
Yeah.
since I've been having this problem with my feet. When I started walking earlier, it's like I walk 1 mile, then I walk two, then I walk three, then I walk five, then I walk eight.
Hmm. Right.
I walked almost 10 in one day consistently. Like,
Uh
my feet didn't
uh.
adjust to that amount of walking so quickly, and I
Yeah.
messed with my feet. So I hadn't been able to walk more than a half a mile until about 2 weeks ago, and I have to remind myself to
Hmm.
go slow because I'm
Right.
more. I'm not an athlete, but I do athlete level walk.
Athletic.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
you know,
You're an elite.
I don't have a. I don't know what the word is, but I don't have a whatever, right? Because I
Mm.
always think I'm achievement oriented, goal oriented. If I can do one, I can do two. If I can do two, I can do
you
three.
are
I'm
you
going
a go getter.
to five.
You a
If I'm
go
doing five,
getter.
I'm going to elevate it. I'm not going to six and six and a half. I'm going to seven. If I get to seven, hell, I know I can do nine. and I can do it like elevate by week, and sometimes by day.
Uh-huh.
I walk 5 today, I can walk 6 tomorrow. So I have to tell myself, pull up, Jay, just pull up.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do it way because you really can ruin your feet. And who knew? And
Yeah.
then I had good shoes, but apparently they weren't good enough. So now I got me
Right.
some good shoes with some cushion that's about an inch and a half thick.
Oh, they hokers. All of them hokers.
Hookers.
I knew it. I knew it. I can look across the room and spot some hokers. I'm like, them hokers. Look at the heels of that shoe.
I was testing it. I've been walking very slowly, like gradually. I got up to half a mile, then a mile, then a mile and a half. And today I got to a mile and a half. I go, oh no, I'm doing 2. And then I did 2, and I thought I'm doing 3, and then I thought, okay, hold up.
Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known.
It wasn't my goal to walk so much today, but that's what had happened.
Right. Well, you know what? You know what? This is perfect. This is perfect for our topic today. Paying attention and listen to yourself. Not just one time, but every time until something changes. Because you know we like you said, you described to me exactly kind of, what you didn't want to do, if I will. You literally described what you said in the previous sentence that you needed to be cautious of.
Oh yeah, I went to the
And
podiatrist. The podiatrist said he listen. He said you walk too much. I said, what the hell is that? Who? What? Where'd that come from? Who walks
she
too much?
said these boots was made for walking, and that's just what I all do.
Yeah, but it was a
I
bad
don't know
move.
what it is with me at the songs tonight. Well, Sue, what
Yes.
is your plan? Are you going walking tomorrow? And what's your plan for tomorrow? You walked 3 today, correct?
I'm not going
And
to
you
walk.
know I'm gonna ask. Yeah. So first thing in the morning.
This is about discipline. This is about mind mastery. Mind mastery is my thing. I didn't master it very well today. I got excited. But this is about slowing it down, being very mindful that I've only got 2 feet. And
It's the only two you got.
I don't have anybody to push me in a wheelchair. And so
Okay.
since the doctor said slow it down, I gotta slow it down. So tomorrow, yes, I will walk, but I'll walk between a mile and a half and 2, not more than that.
There you
Now,
go. There you
um,
go.
the thing that I have to overcome is my brain, my subconscious mind saying, well, if you're only gonna walk 2, you may as well not even go out there, right? Because I'm
No, yeah, no.
walking much further. I work out in the gym. I do the resistance training. I do the aerobics, but I love walking. And it's like even when I go to the gym, if I hate walking on a treadmill, but
Yeah.
walk outside, I feel like my workout isn't complete. So I have to reprogram my mind because it is
Mm-hmm.
complete. And I don't have to do
Yeah.
everything that my mind tells me I have to do. So
No,
tomorrow
God, yeah.
I will do some weight training, but I'll only walk between a mile, mile and a half, not more than 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. That's good. It's similar to a lesson that I am relearning. Just as you said, you did the walking, you knew what the problem was. You went back to walking and you saw yourself start to repeat the same damn thing. That has been me. Um, the one thing that I have been telling myself, and I don't know if anyone remembers. A lot of people think when I post stuff, and a lot of people think when you post stuff or anyone posts stuff, when it hits someone, they think it's about them. You know what I mean? But right, I bullshit about me. I call myself out on the regular, and I posted something not too long ago, and it said, I think we need to normalize telling people to shut up. Because one of the things that I had to tell myself in terms I understand that's not offensive but loving is, Carrie, shut up. Stop over explaining yourself. Like, okay. And I still find myself doing it. There was a situation with a couple of people. Anyway, there was a situation where I kind of felt this tension. And instead of just waiting it out, because it just, I couldn't wait it out because first of all, I was very excited. But second of all, I was very confused. So instead of just waiting it out, I just kind of, went through this whole explanation and this and that and the other or whatnot. And it had the completely adverse effect that I wanted it to have. And what worked for me before my level of understanding didn't work for me once I became aware of what it was doing to me. So now that I knew what it was doing to me, what could have worked before will never work again. It just won't work again. Because when I do it, I'm seeing myself. And now I'm putting this, at first it was this chastisement of myself. Like, here you go again. Oh my God, why did I do that? And then you spend that energy just replaying it in your head, feeling like, oh, why did I do that? Or this, that, and the other. And like days will go by. And then all of a sudden when you, it's almost like you blink your eyes been open, but then you see like, wait a minute, I'm in this room, I'm sitting in this chair, and everything that I've been thinking for the past 2 weeks doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Like literally. Doesn't even exist. Every single idea I had about everything that I thought didn't even exist. And it's just like you missed 2 full days of staring about something you could have, should have, would have done. And it wasn't even that big of a deal, but it's just you get in your mind about things. And I just literally, I have to start telling them, Carrie, shut up. It's done. And if they feel this way or that way, choose what you want to do. What happened? Can you still hear me? You can't hear
me? I can now.
Okay. I was saying, like, wait until something happens for you to start deciding how you want to react or what you want to do, instead of creating different scenarios over in your head that don't even exist. Because what we do quite often is we end up bringing more of that in because that's where our focus has been for so long. And it don't take long to start a momentum if you're putting that much attention on it. If you're putting that much focus on it. It'd be different if I thought that maybe briefly, didn't think of it for another week, then thought about it briefly. But when you're constantly thinking, you know what kind of momentum you got? That's a lot of momentum. And then so when you open your eyes and you start to see that I'm here, I'm in the seat, it's Friday, and none of this that I've been thinking about exists. It's like you have to wait for the momentum to slow down. And that was that period of slowing down and changing my momentum to go in a different direction. I was also spending that time in that chastisement. And it was, I had to admit to myself how familiar it was. And how many areas of my life I did that with money, with family, with my health. How many times we beat ourselves up, we eat a cookie and all of a sudden we got to starve. Like, no, it don't happen like that. You got to eat, because if you want to fast, that's absolutely great. But slow down into that fast. Like, for instance, you're going the other way. You can walk again, but go slowly into the speed. It doesn't matter whether you're going forward or backwards. Like if you're trying to get away from something or if you're trying to move towards something. We need to be aware of the speed that we're taking, because any train that comes to a complete stop, everything inside of it will be splattered to bits and goop. A train has to slow down. I heard Abraham Hicks say the other day, if the conductor jumped off, if the engine cut off, if the whole system shut down, it's still gonna take that train quite a while to stop.
Yeah.
Because momentum is real. But if you apply just a little bit of brake, it's slower. If you apply a lot of brake, it's still slower. But that train still takes a while to slow down. Have you been on a train ride before?
I haven't. I haven't.
I have. And when they hit the brake, you know it. Because you feel it, it's like clunk, and then you start to hear the, and you still go for sometimes another mile. So apply. So why would we expect a habit that we have, a trait that we have, an illness that we have to go away like that? Now I'm not saying it can't. In different situations, calls for different things, but in everything, momentum has to have time to change.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
in the meantime, in the slow time, don't hit the brakes or pump the gas when you're going either towards something. Don't hit the gas. That's not gonna help the momentum because you're still going in a different way. Like if you want to go this way and if you're currently going this way and you want to go this way and you hit the gas,
Yeah.
it's counterproductive. But if you're trying to slow down and you want to come to an immediate stop, that's definitely because we get that energy trap. Like for instance, let's talk about Reiki. When you're doing energetic work, you don't go and look at somebody like, you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
You have to spend the time. You have to get familiar with it. You have to decide and make decisions of where to move and how to maneuver, what to focus on. That's the same thing when you're making decisions in life, whether it's walking or whether it's just changing habits that you've had for a very long time. And that's another reason why in all the master classes I say a lot of times we spend most of our focus in one of three places: in the future, in the past, or in somebody else's business. And I found myself being in someone else's business way too much because I was constantly in my head about thinking about what they might be thinking about. And I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there.
I don't know
Oh,
if you
let's
can
see.
hear
Who we got here?
my
Hey,
fire
Michelle.
alarm.
Hey, Uncle Michelle. What's going on, brother Ray Mel? It's been a month of Sundays. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, we just talking, y'all. What you got in your head, Susu?
When you were talking about the train stopping, I've not been on a train, but
Mm-hmm.
I am always mindful when I am on the highway. You have the same dynamics. There's a back thing, but you have the same dynamics with the 18-wheel trucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can hear it. I hear myself. Um,
Here,
but
let me mute myself.
you have the same dynamics with the 18 wheelers. And I'm always so curious as to why people who are driving would want to not just pass the 18 wheeler, but jump right in front of it, right? And so they're in the rocking chair. That's not a wise place to be, because if the truck has to put on brakes, like you said, it can't stop on a dime, and you're in the middle of those between these two trucks. Or if you're just in front of one truck and there's no truck in front of you, you can't stop. So I can't think of that. There is a principle. I'm not a scientist. I'm just saying, but a thing that is in motion will stay in motion until it either hits something that brings it to a stop, until it actually slows of its own momentum. And so I think of that with regard to the trucks, but I also think of that with regard to life. And here's where I want to make the shift, that when we are moving towards something, and even backward movement is towards something. If your mind is focused on yesterday, he did me wrong, she did me wrong, they did me wrong, life is not good to me, my mama wasn't right when I was 4 years old, my daddy beat up on me when I was 2. That's where your energy is going. And until you interrupt the thought, until you interrupt the pattern, then it will continue to pull you back into the past. And you're wondering perhaps why it is that you can't achieve the goals that you have, that you think you have now. Why it is that you may be wondering why it is that you're not happy. You're not happy because you're not fully present. You're not present. Physically, you are in the present, but your mind and everything that it involves, your subconscious mind, all of your programming is still in the past. That's where your energy is, and that's where you will stay locked back there until what? I was talking to a friend just yesterday, and she said, I don't know how to change my mind. And what I said is, the decision to change your mind really is a simple decision. You're at decision point. Yes or no. I'm going to do it or I'm not. It's just that simple. Now, what is not simple is the process of practicing the new thought patterns, practicing the new behavior. So, if you want to move from where you are, if your focus has been on the past, if you've been reliving it, and you're locked into a present that you don't want, and you decide that the question is, do you want to stay there or do you want something else? It may be that you don't know exactly what the something is that you want. You just may know, I'm not happy here. There's something else, right? That's you make the decision in favor of something else, and then you can begin to explore what is it that something what something else might look like, right? And so the exploration of what a new future might look like is a part of the excitement of living, because none of us know, number one, there's no such thing as tomorrow, but none of us know what the next present is going to bring. But what we can do is make a decision that, I don't like that one, I'm going to try a new future. And then if I don't like that future, I'm going to try a new one. And if I don't like that one, I'm going to try a new one. Hell, you have free reign and free will. What you don't want to do is stay fixated on, this is what it used to be. And what it used to be doesn't have to be years in the past. It can be a moment ago. Like y'all, a few moments ago, I was in Walmart. Walmart has, don't be laughing, Carrie. I'm having a private conversation.
Because I already know what you about to say.
I'm having a private conversation. And so okay, so y'all, I was in Walmart. Now, I I I done walked these 5 miles, and the bakery called me. I heard it call my name. I heard it call my name. And I said, no, I'm not going there. And I found myself going there. Found myself going there. No. And they've got these cinnamon rolls that they make there in Walmart. Whew. Mm-mm-mm. I looked, I said, okay, so I want something sweet. And I had a choice point. First, the decision is, are you going to have something sweet? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Then the question is, well, what are you going to have, right? And so I'm thinking, what has the least amount of calories, right? So the choices were these cinnamon rolls, some vanilla wafer cookies, and I can't remember what the other thing was, but I made a very conscious decision. My friend was on the phone with me. I said, this has this many calories per serving, right? And so, like, one thing had like 420 calories per serving, and it had 8 servings. And something else had like, I don't know, but it all, I looked at the three things, and relatively speaking, okay, so here's the other decision that I made without having expressed it verbally. I'm gonna eat all this shit today. I'm gonna eat it all. I want it all. I'm gonna eat it all. So now,
Go big or go home.
what has the least amount of calories? Well, I looked at them, and relatively speaking, there may have been 100 calories in between, difference. But when if you're talking 2,000 calories, and there's only 100 calories different, I said to my friend, I may as well get what I want. And what I want are the cinnamon rolls. Now, they only had 2 packages of the ones that I wanted, and I had looked at them and put them back. So I'm moseying back over there. Do you know somebody that already got one of those packages? I said, oh no, I got to do this. I have these cinnamon rolls got my name on it. So I bought the cinnamon rolls. Y'all, they all gone. But here is my
Hey, Sue, was that
what?
good?
Oh, orgasmic, y'all. Whew, they are so
Did,
good.
did you lick your fingers? Did you lick your fingers?
My friend said, I hope you enjoy them. You think they're gonna be good? I go, oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, like that, like that. So my point is that I didn't just grab the cinnamon rolls. There were decisions, points all along the way. I was very conscious of the decision I was making. I was very intentional about making the decision, very intentional about making a selection that I could live with because I knew I'm a sugarholic. I knew that there was no sense in telling myself that I was going to have some today and some tomorrow and some that doesn't work for me. I don't keep sweet stuff in my house because I don't have that kind of discipline. So I knew that in getting these cinnamon rolls or whatever it was I got, I knew what the end result was going to be. I consciously made a conscious decision to do it. And I have no guilt because I totally enjoyed myself. Now let's just apply that same thing to other decisions that you may make in life. It is the same process. First, you must know who you are. That requires you to do some deep work. Who are you as a person and how do you show up, right? If you are presented with certain decisions, look at your past. They're patterns. They're patterns of behavior that you have exhibited over time, right? So, what has your past behavior been, which will give you a real clear indication of what your future behavior might be? If you do not want the same future outcome, then you have to make a different decision. If I did not plan to eat those cinnamon rolls, I needed to do what I have learned to do in my life, which is leave all the sweets in the store. Today is the 4th of July. I am celebrating my independence. I wanted those rolls because listen, and this was the story playing in my mind. They're good. They're so good. They really are so good. And the last time I was in the store, the last time I wanted them was a couple of months ago. I was in the store. They didn't have them because
And
they
I
were
remember that. That's why I knew what you was gonna talk about because I remember last time you was like, I didn't even have none.
and I bought some. I bought some, and they weren't even good. They didn't give me that same. Y'all know when you have good six and you keep wanting to go back and get the same that same. They didn't have that. The ones I got. So when I saw, why are you laughing? Hey, this is what comes out.
Because the way you said, you meant that choke.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. So the last ones didn't give me that, right? And so I'm looking, they only got 2 packs on the thing. And I went back and somebody else is enjoying that same. So it's like I'm getting these.
Raymond said, someone trying to answer your call.
I wasn't having it. I was not having it today. So now I got the cinnamon rolls. I did what all people do. I ate the cinnamon rolls. I came home. I ate them at home. I'm going to, they're so good when you warm them up just a little. Y'all, just a little. So anyway, so I come home. I warm them up just a little. I ate two. I was exercising some control, some discipline. Hour later, I ate one more. Hour later, they're all gone now. And I did what we do. I got my blanket.
Knocked down, had that itis.
Up on my couch for just a short nap that lasted 3 hours. So I'm here, y'all. But y'all, again, the cinnamon rolls are good, Michelle. They are good, right? So my point is, I like to have fun. I like to tell stories because people learn best by stories. You'll remember the Dr. Sue and the cinnamon roll story, but you also, I hope, will remember that I went through a very conscious decision making process. Very conscious. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I quote unquote should do. I'm learning not to live by shoulds. At this point in my life, and I hope in yours, put should out the window. What do you want? What's going to make you happy? But be aware of every decision has consequences. Now, those cinnamon rolls I ate, the pounds won't show up today. But if I don't get my butt in the gym and do it consistently, they will show up. If I do this every day with cinnamon rolls, I'm not going to like what happens to my body because it's going to do what it is designed to do. But just
Yeah.
one day, treat yourself to life. Life is about living and enjoying it, not about beating yourself up and being guilty, but make good decisions. And good is relative to the individual, but make a decision that you can live with the consequences because every decision has consequences.
Yeah. That goes right back to momentum. You know, like the example people give of the cup, and you got a cup, say with Coca-Cola, only because it's dark, not because it has to be Coca-Cola, but you got a dark liquid in a glass, and then you take water, and if you constantly pour the water into that same cup, eventually it will be all water because it'll dissipate what was in there previously. But a lot of us, we want to pour just a little bit of water and go back and forth, and we feel like we don't see a change. It's because we're giving tit for tat. Like, for instance, we talked about one time about balance and how balance don't necessarily look equal, but balance is more so about intention. So if Dr. Sue eats one cinnamon roll and does one lap, that's not equal. You know what I mean? You can't always be tit for tat. For instance, a brick that weighs a pound and a pound of feathers, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of feathers. And again, when we go back to momentum, once you got momentum going, if your cup is already dark, if there's already a brick on the toe, and you got to put, your part into it to change the balance, to change the color, to get the clarity of that cup of dark water that you just slowly pouring that water into that dark liquid, and it eventually clears up. When you was talking about decision making earlier, I was like, because it's not just it's definitely the decision making. And what I think a lot of people miss, or a lot of people are not aware of, is that they are actually making decisions. Every decision that they make, everything is a decision, and every single decision counts towards your pour. So if you think of a dark colored liquid in a cup and you're pouring your part is water, what are you pouring in? Because a lot of us are still pouring in Coke and expecting to get the clarity in our lives, because clarity is when you see something for what it is. And a lot of times we got a lot of complaints about our lives, and if we really saw it for what it was, it's what we have put in to it. And that is a culmination of your decisions. All of it. Now, I know that there are things and circumstances that we don't necessarily say I deserve, or I wouldn't have done that, I didn't create that. But even the bad things that happen, we chose to either move to that state, or we chose to be in that relationship, or it's not your fault. But at some point, it did become your decision to be wherever it was that the thing took place. We have to assume responsibility that we made a decision. And some of the things, the circumstances of life that just happened because of the accumulation of someone else's decisions, we hold fault a lot of times for that as if it's our responsibility. But we don't hold responsibility for the actual decisions that we make. Because even within trauma, even within disease, even within letting go of different, religions. That's a big thing right there. A lot of times we don't realize what we're choosing because we have been on autopilot in certain areas of our life so long. Like for me, it's over explaining. I didn't really realize I did that until I was aware that certain things in me and the way I felt, and if I was going on a crying rant for no damn reason, when did this start? Where was it triggered? It was triggered because I poured so much into something that it didn't require that when it spilled over, I was mad that I made a mess. I poured it. I poured it. So what am I upset about? What I'm upset about is that I have been stuck in a habitual way for some time. And instead of paying attention to what I was doing to cause the effect that I was feeling, I was trying to figure out everyone else that was affecting the way that I was affecting myself. No, I know I can't be the only one. Anybody else done that? Look, did the church, can the church say amen? Amen. So
I
yeah, it's you have to know you are making decisions. I don't care how small, I don't care how quick, I don't care how minute, I don't care what the pressure is. If you need to say wait a minute and let me think, you better say wait a minute and let me think. And you better think about it because it's a decision and it's going to tweak just a little bit. Because if I'm walking in a straight line and I even make a fraction, if I kept walking this way because some of us walk in a certain way for 20 years and it's so slight we don't realize that we way off course until we way off course. Because if I say this way is South Carolina and this way is Mississippi, right now, just because I take one step this way and one step this way, right now I'm still in this room. But if I do it, eventually I'm gonna be in the yard, and eventually I'm gonna be on this way on 53, and this way on 72, and before long I'm gonna be in Georgia, and I'm gonna be in Mississippi, and before long I'm gonna be in the United States and Africa, and pretty soon I'm so far away from my fucking self because I wasn't paying attention to the decisions I was making, because I took off on this journey, and I was ever so slightly going in the wrong direction the whole time because I wasn't realizing the steps in the direction I was taking. Oh Lord.
You are so absolutely right. And as you're speaking, I'm thinking, I don't remember. I remember my mom talking to me about not following other people's leads. I, I remember the church talking about doing the right thing, but I don't remember anybody breaking it down to me in a way that I could understand. And that the decisions you make at every point in your life, every breath, the decision you make really is directing your life course. My undergraduate degree, no, my PhD is in criminology and criminal justice. So I'm a criminologist, but I study criminal justice organizations, criminal justician, they called it. The only theory, there's so many theories that we had to learn, but the only theory that ever made sense to me from a holistic standpoint was a theory called life course theory, right? And basically what it says is that at every decision point, every decision gives you an option to go, in essence, to the left or to the right. And they keep splitting off. It keeps splitting off like a spider web, right? And so let's say a kid is told that you're stupid. That kid can either accept that early on, accept that or not. The kid could say, in their mind, because the parents would be pissed off, could say, "You out of your mind. No, I am not stupid. You're the one that's stupid for calling me stupid," right? So that kid didn't embody that message. But another kid could say, "Well, she says I'm stupid, or he says I'm stupid, so I must be stupid." Now, depending on which of those decisions you accept, which input you accept, your whole life begins to go in that direction. And so many, I start there because as an adult, when you are looking now at transforming your behavior, you don't have to live in that space, but you need to go back and examine the course of your life with regard to the decisions you made and accept responsibility for making those decisions, but also accept that you don't have to live in the house that you built. You can move. You can go to a whole new state or a whole new country. Now, when you get there, you got some more shit to deal with. But now, hopefully, your eyes are open and you are in a better position to make a choice about the kind of materials you want to use, the location you want to live in, the kind of materials you want to use to build this house. So think of your life. Don't just think of this is where I am now, right? Go back mentally and think of, and this is not a thing that involves judgment in the sense, oh, I was a bad person. No, you're not a bad person. I personally don't believe there are bad people. I believe there are people who make decisions that are not for the best. But even with that, it depends on what was the desired outcome. So a decision that I consider a quote unquote bad decision or a decision that might not be for the best, depending on what that person's desired outcome is, it could be perfect for them. So what is a good decision or bad decision is a matter of perspective. But when you're looking at your own life, you're the one who gets to identify the label, but you also understand that there is so much flexibility. Once you have the awareness, now you've got flexibility and you've got power. You have power to go in a different direction. And it took me a lot of years to learn this. And I'm just going to be really honest with you, something that perhaps a lot of people with my background wouldn't. I didn't know that I had choice. I didn't know that I had choice. The programming is so deep at the subconscious level that if you are not taught that you have choice, or if you're not shown by other people that you have choice, I know that some of my friends were making different decisions. I didn't realize that I had choice to make different decisions, even with regard to what some would consider great decisions to go to school. Going to school, I shared with someone the other day, I have spent more than 50 years of my life in school, a good 60 years in school. That means that I lived a life, but it was in a much more confined way, right? Other people have spent their years going here, exploring that. That doesn't mean that I had a bad life. My life was fine, but my life was different based on the choices that I made. And the programming for me from the early beginning was you will go to school. God will make a way. You will get your degree. You will finish school. I didn't know, y'all, this probably sounds so whatever to y'all. It's okay, however it sounds. I didn't know that I had a choice not to go to school. That was not my programming. My mama said, you going to school? I don't know nobody that's bucking my mama. My mama said, you going to school. And my mama said, you're going to get a degree. You ain't having no babies up in here. You ain't getting married. You're going to get a degree and you ain't going to lift. Listen, my mama had a third grade education, but she did go back and get her GED. But even before that, she said, you're never going to lift anything heavier than a piece of paper. If you look around my room, you look at my life, I have books, I have papers. I work on the computer. I don't have like manual labor kind of hard skills. I don't know how to do that. That's not my programming. And it's not good or bad. It's just this is the route that I was destined to take based on the programming. And so my subconscious mind does not allow me to even entertain any other route. And so that's what I'm saying to you. It took me a while even to understand that that was what was going on in my life. That's why I would have these moments, Carrie, where I would say, I'm so tired of school. Why can't my life be like other people's lives? Why other people go to work, they go to school, they get a job, they're just content. What is wrong with me that I can't be that way? My mama's programming was strong. It was strong. And coming up in the era that I came up, I took one for the team. I and the others in who came up during that era, because we opened the doors so that other people could come through them from an integration or desegregation standpoint. So I didn't know that I had choice. My mama said, we made the decision that you're going to the white school. That's where I went. And that took my life in a whole different direction than it would have taken it had I stayed at the black school. I'm just saying, know your past, because your past determines your present, which will also determine your future if you cannot see beyond the programming.
Michelle said she don't want no manual labor skills either. She said I don't want it.
I don't have
But
this.
but
I
that
don't know
is
how to do
important.
anything.
It's funny
I,
go ahead. You said
I don't
what?
know how to do anything. I can listen. My strongest skills, I am a critical thinker. You can't put that in there. That's abstract. You can't put that on paper. I'm a critical thinker. I write, I communicate. That's what I do. That is what my mom programmed me to do, and pick up nothing heavier than a book or a piece of paper. I'm
Yeah.
good with it now, but I wasn't
Ain't
always.
no, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. And see, that's same as me. Like I've done retail for over 25 years. You know, and customer service really is what I've been doing my whole life because I grew up in church, and I was a usher, and I was a choir director, and I was over the youth Bible study and the youth group, the youth choir, the inspirational choir, the mixed choir. I was over at one time. I was over I think 3 choirs at one time. Customer service is literally what I've done is keep up with a whole bunch of personalities and make sure every single one of them is happy. Because I study the person more than I study myself, so that I know how to use myself to communicate with the person. It's same thing, same programming, and it was just like it's so unique to every person. But if you really think about it and you look at the things you do, it's not just the environments that you were in, it's who you decided to be in those environments, and not just who, but why did you choose that? Why did you choose to be that in the environment? And for me, it was because I didn't really fit in any particular thing. So I just wanted everything. And I wanted to be good at that. I wanted to be good at being a chameleon in any situation. So I didn't have to feel like I had to fit in because I just didn't. I just never have. But I've always been the glue with
Mm-hmm.
other people to bring other, like this group and this group and this group don't get along. If I'm having a party, every group's there. Every group's there. Every time. And I love it. I love it so much. But I didn't always love it. And I don't love it in certain circumstances, just like I was saying earlier, over explaining, because I'm pouring all of my knowledge of knowing so many people into so few or into one, and that can be extremely overwhelming for some people. Because number one, they're not used to people being that attentive. Number two, they're not used to that people being that communicative, and not especially not over communicative.
Yeah.
And that's just how I am. I want you to know every aspect. I'll give you 15 examples till you be like, I got it. I got it. Okay, I got it. But yeah, but it's our program because I was that. I was the jack of all trades since I've been born. You know,
Mm-hmm.
being the youngest in a household of four, and daddy's a pastor, and mama got every job in the book. You know, and there's 29 grandkids when you go to grandma's house. You had to be good at something, and I had to be good at people. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. Dang, so it's already been an hour. Look at us.
Wow. Wow. Well, I have to say this before we get ready to close.
Oh, we still got like 12 minutes.
Okay, so as you were talking, I thought about a manuscript that I have completed. Um,
Okay, manuscript.
at some point, I will publish it, but it's not going to be the first thing I publish. Um, it's called Sometimes It's Just Blue. I don't know. Did I talk about this on here before?
Briefly, but go ahead.
Okay, so sometimes it's just blue. Now, my that came up because of this communication thing. My best friend was here visiting about a month ago, and she asked a question. I don't even know what the question was, but I began to explain and to give her an answer. And I just went on and on and on because I am the person who, like my friend Carrie, I need to give you some examples and to tell you a story so that you can fully see what it is. What it is that I am trying to explain to you. I want you to know the nuances and to be able, I want the coloration, right? And so I'm answering the question and she holds up her hand and she says, "It's just blue, Sue." I look at her, it's like, I got this confused look on my face because I don't know what she's talking about. What's just blue? We ain't even talking about the colors, right? It's just blue. So I continue to explain it. Sue, it's just blue. I'm still talking. It's just now, both hands up now. It's just blue, Sue. It's just blue. What the hell are you talking about? Like that's what the police do when they want you to stop. That's the universal symbol of stop. It's just blue. I go, what are you talking about? She said, some people, this is the point, some people don't need all of that explanation. For some people, it is overwhelming. It's too much. Mentally, they may not have the capacity for it. They may not, even if they've got the capacity, they just may be a just blue. Just give me the bottom line, and I'll let you know if I need anything else. I go, there are really people like that? I don't understand
Just a
that.
surprise. I was just a surprise.
People are really like that? I don't understand that. I want all of the information. Give me the universe. I will narrow it down because I need the universe to understand where the little pieces fit. And what you're telling me is, how does that work? So I wrote this book that I haven't published it. I read some of it on YouTube a month or so ago. Sometimes it's just blue. You see, Carrie and I, we see, think, and speak or communicate in technicolor, all of the nuances. We want you to know that it's not just blue. There's the light blue, the dark blue, the aqua blue, the bluest blue, the so many blues. You just want blue? What the hell does that look like? I can't even give me blue that's got texture. Sometimes you add a little white and you get it. It's got some here and some.
Look like got waves in it and swirls and all the things. Look good. When the light hit it, got a little glitter in it.
But as I sat with that, I thought, for some people, it is just blue. Now, I taught communications with law enforcement officers for a gazillion years. And one of the things I spoke on is that there are at least four types of communication style. And one is the style that's very direct. They want you to give them the bottom line, and then you add the flavor if they need it. And the others are the ones who, well, another major group is the one who you got to give me everything. Because if you don't, I don't know what I'm missing. So I can't really make a fully informed decision. And then you've got the other two that are kind of somewhere in between, hybrids. And so it's important that, number one, you know your communication style. But also it is important that you know the style of the person that you're communicating with. Now, my friend who said sometimes it's just blue, she was a law enforcement officer for 20 years. They don't have time for all that detail and story. What happened? Who did it? Where are they? Give it to me right now. And me, I was a law enforcement officer too, but that was a gazillion years ago. In between, I've been teaching officers and students, and you got to give them all of these different scenarios because they learn differently, right? And so I amass information and then I give it to you depending on what your need is. But my friend, we were talking about this the other day. She says, I know you, I love you. So I let you go on, but I don't need all that. I'm just blue. I'm technicolor. I want I want it all. So what are you just blue or do you want the technicolor? But here's the thing.
Michelle said she blue.
So in the book, the manuscript, I talk about even the just blue people. There's coloration for them, but it is perhaps it's not as much, and it may not be as vivid. And the thing is, don't judge. We don't judge. We just recognize that there is neurodiversity. We recognize that we each show up differently, and however the differently is, it's good because it's good for them. Now, the problem is that if you have a just blue person communicating with a technicolor person and they don't understand that there is that diversity, then what you have is a mismatched communication. Somebody has to drop down or come up. You because otherwise you're not going to meet each other, which means from a communication standpoint, you're not communicating. You're simply talking at each other. So are you just blue? My friend's just blue. I love her. She gives me just the facts, and I go back and say, okay, so tell me the story. What what's the backstory? And I give her the technicolor, and she loves me. She doesn't stop me most times. She just filters out the part that she doesn't need. But we don't judge. Just blue. Sometimes it's just blue.
Just blue, just blue. So, oop, it's echoing again. So if you want to be on the waiting list for Just Blue, put your email in the comments because Just Blue is going to drop soon. So yeah, put your email in the comments if you want to pre-order. Let us know, you know what I'm saying? Let us know.
I got a couple things. This is the thing that's going to happen first. Look, next week, well, within the next few days, I'm going to drop a trailer for my podcast that's coming out. It's called "Telling the Raw Truth with the Spiritual Chaser," and it is the 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 things that I talk about are relative to anybody, but this podcast is for women, and it much of it is based on things in my life. The first podcast is episode I think is called "I Walk the Walk," and what I tell you there is that I've been through some shit, right? And most of us have, but I came out on the other side, and you can too. And so the whole concept behind or underlying the podcast is that I will identify an area based on lived experience. I will do a spoken word, either poem or something around it, and then I'll end it with a spiritual note. The thing is that what I've learned in my life is that life happens for us and for others. There was a long time I thought life happened to me and that it knocked me down, and intentionally it was trying to beat me up. But I don't believe that anymore. And so I share with the hopes that you too can see that life is happening for you and understand that your purpose in being here on this earth plane is to love yourself and love others. So whatever you go through, don't hate, don't procrastinate, don't judge, don't do any of those. Just love yourself. Just love yourself. Be you. So the podcast will drop. The trailer would have dropped today, but for the fact that I ate I ate those cinnamon rolls and I didn't do what I was supposed to do to get it ready, right? But
Oh, she answered the call. She answered the call.
within the next couple of days, the trailer will drop. The
Tell
first
me the
two,
name again.
telling the raw truth with the spiritual chaser. So then the first three episodes, I'm going to drop them at once, and they will drop this week coming. or next week because we're still in Fourth of July week. But within the say, let's say within the next 10 days, they will drop. And then I have a book coming out from mastering your mind to mastering your life, and that will come
Ooh,
out in September. So we're talking
there we
about
go.
mastery and talking about much of what we've talked about today. From mastering your mind to mastering your life brings together the spiritual principles, neuroscience, and metaphysics. And so to help you understand who you are, how you got to be that way, and when I speak you, I'm talking the generic you because I'm talking me, and gives you a program or a process, a framework to move from where you are to where you want to be.
That's what's up. I love it. I love it. Nice, nice. Raymond said him and Angelique got one Healing Conversation podcast now out on YouTube and Spotify. So, what platforms are you gonna be on, Susu?
I'm going to come out first on Spotify, but I plan to be on all of them, Apple and YouTube. I'll also be posting to the social media accounts.
Okay,
So
okay, cool
I
beans.
YouTube.
I don't have Spotify. I mean, I have Spotify, but I don't have. One of them. The only time I ever get on Spotify is when someone sends me a song and it's on Spotify. So I'm very unfamiliar, but I'm about to get familiar. All y'all on Spotify. Everyone say happy, so happy for you, Dr. Sue. Can't wait to tune in.
Thank
All
you.
right.
The
And
telling the raw truth. They're not long. The episodes range from like 4 to 8 minutes max, just something to hit you real hard, give you something that's inspirational to think about, and keep it moving.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So y'all go to Spotify. It's a lot of good people on Spotify.
Yeah.
Raymel and Angelique, Dr. Sue gonna be there soon. When you say you gonna be on there, Susu?
Oh yeah, yeah, I will. That's
Oh,
gonna be.
did you give a date yet? Did you give a date? Did I miss it? I was over here
I'm gonna
typing.
drop. I'm gonna drop the trail.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Say it again. I was trying to mute me because I heard an echo and I ended up muting you. Say it.
I'm gonna drop the trailer by Sunday, and then the other episodes I'll be coming to moving north on the night. So the other episodes will come out before I leave. I'm going to drop the first 3 episodes at once, and then I'll be on a weekly schedule. But Spotify will be the hosting platform, and from there it'll go out to the other platforms. But I also will do I'll do YouTube, and I don't know. I'm looking at TikTok and yeah, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Cool beans. One of the things I had mentioned to Susu was me and her maybe going live on TikTok. Y'all let us know what you think. We may be moving the late night happy hour to TikTok. The thing is I don't know nothing about TikTok. When I say nothing, I mean nothing about TikTok. I get on there and halftime I'll be on there and realize I ain't even logged in. I didn't know you could be on TikTok and not be logged in. So I was thinking that my password and stuff was saved. So like then I try to log in and I don't know what my password is. So we'll figure that out too. So anyway, also if you need a vacation and if you are free on August 2nd, and those two things happen to coincide, I will be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Woo woo! August the 2nd. I'll be there the 1st through the 4th, but I'll be there August the 2nd for the second annual Sacred Queens meet up. And let me tell you something. If you can make it, please make it. This is for the queens. This is for us to have a good time. We're going to let our hair down. We're going to dance. We're going to eat some good food cooked by yours truly. And we are going to have an amazing time. Please come. It starts at the pre-registration at 3:30, but it officially starts at 4. It goes until 8. I got the place until 9. But I want to go to the beach. So after we get done with the Sacred Queens meetup, we're right at the beach because it's on the beach. We're not on the beach, but you cross the road and then there's the beach. We're going to go out there. I'm taking all my drums. I'm taking my singing bowls. We're going to have blankets and pillows and mats and all the good things, incense and all the stuff, And then after that, I'm going to the club. But you don't have to partake in it. But the Sacred Queens meetup is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We got speakers. We have a breath work session. We have some, I think, fun games to play. And so I'm looking forward to having a good time. And then we have goodie bags too. And I have, should I say it? Okay, I'll say it. And the goodie bags, I know it may sound weird, but I'm not just giving you a goodie bag. I'm giving you a bag. And the bag is empty. And there's a lot of goodies there. And you get to put whatever you want to put in your bag. Because I don't like wasting my money. And I know you don't like taking stuff. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, why do that? So come and make your own goodie bag too. Like, it's going to be so fun. We're going to have an amazing time. You're going to get to meet some amazing queens. I have a couple of volunteers this year that are going to be at the door giving away raffle tickets. We're going to have stuff, everything. We're going to have different prizes and whatnot. And it's going to be like jars in front of the prizes. So when you get your raffle tickets, put your name on and stuff. You're going to put it in whatever jar. And at the end, we're going to get winners. So we're going to have an amazing time. So just come out August 2nd, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's at Fresh Brewed Coffee House. It's at 933 Broadway Street in Myrtle Beach. Come, I would love to have you there. I really, 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 really hope that you get to come if you are available. All right. So what's your final word, Sue? And we're going to slide on out of here.
I love y'all. Keep it real, real. real, and real simple. It's always so good to be here, and I always enjoy everything that comes up and comes out. And, you know, I believe that this is a space that God speaks in, using us as instruments. And so I am happy to be here and happy to be used, and hope that I know you got some value out of it. So just hang in there and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And I love you too. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Raymel, for hanging out with us. Again, Michelle's on YouTube. She has her page, Michelle XO. Raymel, he has I don't know if he has one by himself, but I know him and Angelique does Healing Conversations on It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, and I'm pretty sure they do it on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all put y'all's links, all y'all stuff down there. Put your stuff down there, Michelle and Raymel. We love y'all. Mwah. Come back and see us again next week, and don't forget, Dr. Sue's couple books are coming. Her podcast is dropping, and we're gonna see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.